approaching the high point of the weekend, the finals, that's right. There's no more time for rehearsals out there. The drivers must be adapted to their cars and the setup should be clear. Let the battle begin. With some temperatures having increased in a half a day, the track has lost some ice, and in some spots, the curves have to be negotiated differently in the early hours of the morning. The pilots have to know how to adapt to this in order to get good results.
In the B final, Jose Rouget, Ferran Monge, and Greg Breen took the top 3 spots while putting on a great show for the fans in attendance.
Final is about to start, following the points that the drivers got in qualifying. The grid is the following. In the pole position, starting with the Peugeot 208 R5 is Chevy Pons. In the second slot, and with his claws sharpened and ready to go on the attack, we have Marc Gutierrez with a credit Andorra Peugeot. Newcomer Mikel Socias is in the third position.
Rounding out the grid are Monge's Peugeot
and Garcia's Ford Fiesta N5, that despite having been a little bit slower in qualifying, has put on a great show to the fans in attendance with its endless skidding. The sun is shining and it's getting warm out there, and the ice is starting to loosen up a little bit on the course. The conditions are getting complicated for the drivers. Everything's ready, the drivers are focused, the machines are ready to go, the officials in their spots, everybody on first gear, and all eyes on the starting line. Red, red, red. The light is off and the race is underway! Chevy Pons takes the early lead. Mikel Socias and other drivers have been left behind, but maybe Pons started too quickly. They're now going up the incline. They're getting ready to reach the parabolic. Chevy Pons is still in the lead, with Goody and Socias right behind. They're so close they're almost touching. Pons gains a little bit of separation. Whoa, 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 and the pursuers behind him are going all out. Pons is still leading. It looks like Monge had problems going into turn 4. Another newcomer, Alvaro Rodriguez, is pushing hard with his Socias R5. Goody and his Proto are pushing hard too. It looks like there's a lot more at stake than just the top 3. Socias and Goody are neck and neck in the straightaway. Wow! Pons is leading in the second lap. We can see his car is completely turned to tackle the long curve of the parabolic. My, that's beautiful. Yellow flag, we have a yellow flag.
It looks like Monge is out of the race at the beginning of the VIP curve.
Let's take a look at what happened to the veteran driver who is in his first race here in Andorra. Pons is still looking comfortable. One driver who doesn't look comfortable is Goody, who's back behind Pons and is trying to contain Socias. But no matter what happens, it looks like they are getting it on. Gorgeous images coming straight from Socias' Peugeot R5. It looks like the first 3 aren't quite as close as they were just a few seconds ago. Alvaro Rodriguez is still 4th, the newcomer looking like he's getting a little bit more comfortable with these fun and complicated turns. He's going to remember this race for the rest of his life. And Pons still leads as he crosses the line with 4 laps to go. It looks like yes, as we turn back to a replay of the start. And yes, it does look like the current Spanish Land Rally champion moved ahead. There's a little bit of confusion there because it looks like even partially stopped. We'll see if he ends up paying for it at the end of the race. Here we go, let's look at it once again. And with that, we go back to the front of the race and we can see that Pons is still in the lead. He's out there to win. And now we can see a replay of the battle for the second and third positions. The driver from Mallorca, Miquel Socias, is showing his toughness to the Andorran driver, Marc Gutierrez. What a show they are putting on. Garcia, driving from behind, continues to enjoy his Ford Fiesta N5. We go back to the race and now we're past the halfway point. The drivers seem to be a little bit calmer. Pons is still leading. Gutierrez and Socias have taken a break, and it looks like they've stopped attacking, at least for the time being. And the front runners are once again back together. How the drivers are managing their tires is absolutely crucial at this moment. At this point, they must be losing studs and having less and less of a grip out there on the ice. It has to be different from the start of the race. And now we take a look at how the Catalan pilot is doing. Concentration to the max. Pons is leaving everybody behind him at quite a distance and building his solid lead. But the question is, will Pons be able to keep that lead until the end of the race? We're now looking at the Socias car. Take a look at how it's moving on and how it's going along with Alvaro Rodriguez. On these laps, concentration must be the absolute maximum. Any mistake now and you throw away everything you've done all weekend. And here we go into the final lap. The first race of the Credit Andorra G Series is coming to an end, with Pons still leading, followed by Gutierrez and Socias. Here come the final skids. The tires are at their absolute limit. What a great day for racing. Here comes the final curve for the leader. And the checkered flag is up, and Pons crosses the finish line first. And now we finally reach the end of the race, and we're gonna have to take a look and see if the race directors penalize Pons for the way he started.
Nada, me daba mucho el sol, el semáforo no lo he visto bien. I
had the sun in my eyes. I couldn't see the light. I couldn't really see. I thought there were 4, but I only saw 2 lights. And then there's one in the middle that I think something's wrong with because something strange happened there. I thought that I could start, but I looked around and saw everybody still waiting. Then I stopped again. And then when I stopped, everybody started to go. I don't know. It's pretty strange. Not good because I wasn't concentrating the whole final. But, well, I'm happy with the whole weekend. Everything went pretty well. So here's a look at the final standings of the first race of the Credit Andorra G Series 2019.
Jose Roger wins the B final with 42 points, followed by Chevy Pons with 40 and Marc Gutierrez with 38. They're followed by Monge, Socias, and Breen.
Salía segundo de la final B.
I started second in the B final. I was on the outside. I started really well. I went straight into first place, and then I kept on advancing. I saw that I was gaining even more separation, and since there was a lot of asphalt out on the track, I slowed down to conserve my tires, because you just destroy the studs. I hope everything goes better than last year. We have a good chance, but there's a lot of racing left. It's a really long season, and ice is ice, so you really have to work hard.